Welcome back to the Conference USA Showcase. We're talking bowl matchups today. Now 3 down, 2 more to talk about. Let's start in Hawaii with the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. That's got to be a tough one to play at this year. I mean, just in the islands,
yeah,
fantastic.
Tough Call of Duty there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, June Jones heads back to a very familiar territory, but they will have to face Fresno State. Now, the Bulldogs, explosive offense all year. Talk about some of the characters that they're going to face.
Well, first of all, I think if you're SMU, you obviously needed a win on the last week of the season to get to a bowl game. Can you continue that momentum with this time off? That's the biggest problem a lot of head coaches have, trying to get these guys focused up, especially when you're going to Hawaii. But they're playing a team that has Robbie Rouse, an outstanding running back. You've got Derek Carr, younger brother of David Carr, former NFL player, obviously. They've got to stop them. And if you look at SMU, create turnovers. That's the whole key. Between Stephen F. Austin game at Houston, they forced 17 turnovers. Now, you're not going to get, the 9 turnovers like you had against Houston, but you've got to force something because this offense that they're going to face is outstanding. And also, you want to see Garrett Gilbert take the next step in his progression and Zach Line finish off his career with a big bang. And finally, Rice travels to Fort Worth in the Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl. They take on Air Force. Now, Air Force has a very explosive ground game. What does the Rice defense need to do here? Stop them. I mean, this is not taking rocket science to figure this out, because Air Force, number 2 in the FBS rushing, they rush for 328 yards a football game. The question is, does Rice have the manpower to stop them? Now, the problem is they keep pounding you and pounding you and pounding you. Then all of a sudden, boom, they gash one for 30, 40, 50 yards. That's what Rice has to be prepared for. They've got to be prepared for a physical battle. The guys up front, it's on them. The linebackers, it's on them. Secondary's got to provide support. But how do you stop that potent offense, which you don't see during the season a lot, and all of a sudden you got to prepare for it for a bowl game? It's a tough order for Rice.
And then talk offensively. Taylor McHargue, the league's leading rushing QB. I mean, how does that kind of play into this game, and how do the Owls get points on the board?
Well, play keep away. I mean, when you play a team like Air Force, you don't want them to have the football because they have the ability to have a 13-play drive and run the clock down. So when you do have the football, you got to take advantage of it. And I think McHargue, he's going to be the catalyst, obviously. His running ability sets up the pass. He's got to be able to be successful running the football. But once again, it comes down to defense. Can Rice stop this very potent offensive Air Force?
Well, obviously lots of bowl action for CUSA over the holidays. Here's one more look at our schedule. Well, a tough year for Tulane football, but ending on a high note. Place kicker Cairo Santos being honored as the top place kicker in the country at this year's College Football Awards.
On behalf of Palm Beach County and the Palm Beach County Sports Commission, I'm honored to announce the winner of the 2012 Lou Groza Collegiate Place Kicker of the Year Award to Cairo Santos, Tulane University.
Santos completed the season, finishing a perfect 21 of 21 on field goal attempts while being named to the All-Conference USA first team. He also connected on 27 of 28 PAT attempts. Santos led the nation with 12 40-plus yard field goals, including a pair of 50-yarders, and set the school record with a 57-yarder against Rice, which tied him for the 4th longest in the nation this season. Santos led CUSA in field goal percentage and field goals per game, while was ranked 7th nationally in overall points per game with 7.4.
It's unbelievable. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it's happening. After knowing Caleb and just meeting Dustin this week, and one of the 2 nicest guys I've ever met in my life, and I'm just been really honored to be here in the same stage with all these guys, all these coaches. It's truly unreal to me. I'm just so blessed and thankful.
Well, staying in the kicking game, future CUSA member Louisiana Tech and their punter Ryan Allen, the recipient of this year's Ray Guy Award for the 2nd consecutive year given to the nation's top punter. Allen was presented with the award for the nation's most outstanding collegiate punter at the College Football Awards. Allen recorded the highest punting average in the country at 48 yards per punt, totaling 2,162 yards for the season. 'Tis the time of year for the coaching carousel to hit overdrive, and UTEP no different. The Miners announcing their new head coach in Sean Kugler, being named the 25th head coach of the UTEP Miners.
I'm thrilled to be back in El Paso. As Coach mentioned, this is a second home for me. Spent 5 years here as a player, 8 years here as an assistant coach. 2 of my children were conceived here, and I have nothing but fond memories of El Paso. If you're wondering why I don't have a sports jacket, I'm going to call my wife out right here. She's home watching this on streaming video. Patsy, I love you, but you should have packed my jacket. I'm the first coach in the history of football to never go to a press conference without a sports jacket. But I apologize about that. I'm not going to be a coordinator, and I'm not going to call plays. I'm going to trust that all of my coaches are going to do their jobs, and that's going to be my main job is making sure that everybody's on point and everybody's on the same page, and I'm going to let those guys coach, because as a coach myself, I've always responded best to coaches that let you coach, and I've been very blessed to have many coaches that give you that opportunity, and I think coaches flourish in that capacity. I'm not a micromanager. I'm going to let those guys be themselves and be their best selves. We're going to be a multiple offense. I'd like to be a little bit more two-back. I'd like to heavily utilize the tight ends. I would say if you could compare the offensive style that we want to play, it's probably more similar to Boise State than it would be any other offense. I want to be multiple, but the ultimate thing is we want to utilize what we have talent-wise. I mean, if we have a great group of receivers, we want to utilize them. If we have an outstanding group of tight ends, we want to utilize them, and so forth. So, but being an offensive line coach, yes, I do believe it all starts up front, and I'm looking forward to meeting the offensive line and seeing their display of physicalness, and it all starts there on offense. But it'll be a quarterback-friendly offense, and I think if you're a quarterback, you're going to want to play in this offense, because pro-style offense is fun to play in. My defensive philosophy, I like an attacking defense that flies to the ball. I like them being multiple as well to cause confusion for the quarterback. As far as I could tell you structurally, you know, I lean towards a 3-4 base and a nickel 4-2, because it's very multiple and you can do a lot of things out of it. But again, once we hire a coordinator, probably get into more detail with that. But the main thing is those guys will be well conditioned and running to the football, or they won't be out there in the field.
Well, Ron, the Miners getting back one of their own. He definitely knows the El Paso community.
I think this is a great hire for UTEP. Number one, he comes in with instant credibility. Offensive line coach, Pittsburgh Steelers. Right there you say, this guy knows what he's doing. You're going to get offensive linemen because you want to be coached by one of the best, and he is. But I think the key to any coaching situation, you've got to bring a guy in that understands the city, understands the temperament of everything around him, and understands the school. Played there, coached there, understands it. I think it's an awesome hire for UTEP. Also, congratulations to Southern Miss. Todd Monken, offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State, their new head football coach. This guy is a mastermind on offense, and I think he's going to kickstart that program again. That's a great hire.
Absolutely, and the coaching carousel
continues.
We'll still ahead on the CUSA Showcase. Basketball Players of the Week and Cross Country names their Athletes of the Year.